dense forest loomed under the silver glow of the full moon. A cold wind rustled through the towering pines, carrying the eerie sounds of unseen creatures. Deep within the heart of the wilderness, something moved. It was low to the ground, its fur bristling as it crept cautiously over the thick underbrush. The creature's sharp eyes glowed in the dark. Wild, scared, and lost. A bobcat. She had strayed too far from her territory, lured by the scent of something unfamiliar. Now, disoriented and alone, she paced the forest floor. Her keen ears flicked at the distant sound of rustling leaves. But this was no ordinary night. Something was out there. Something unnatural. Hikers often spoke of the Whispering Woods, a secluded expanse of trees where compasses went haywire and people sometimes lost their way. Some dismissed the tales as folklore, but some who ventured too deep never returned. That night, two hikers, Ben and Lisa, were navigating a winding path through the woods. Their headlamps sliced through the thick darkness, their breaths misting in the cold night air. "This place gives me the creeps," Lisa whispered, pulling her jacket closer. "Feels like something's watching us." Ben chuckled, but his voice lacked confidence. "Come on, it's just a forest. Nothing out here but trees and..." A sudden growl echoed through the silence, cutting him off. Lisa grabbed his arm. "Did you hear that?" Ben nodded slowly. They scanned the area with flashlights, the beams sweeping across gnarled roots, jagged rocks. Then, two golden eyes glowing from the darkness. The bobcat stood frozen, her body tense, her ribs faintly visible beneath her fur. Something was wrong. "Is she hurt?" Lisa asked, stepping closer. Ben held out a cautious hand. "Stay back, it's a wild animal." The bobcat let out a low warning growl but didn't move to attack. Instead, she limped forward, her paw barely touching the ground. Lisa's heart pounded. "She's injured! We can't leave her here!" Ben hesitated. "We need to be careful. A wild animal can turn on us any time." Then, a branch snapped behind them. Both hikers spun around. The forest had gone completely still. Too still. Lisa's grip tightened on her flashlight. "Something's wrong." Then they saw it. A deep footprint in the mud, much larger than any human's. And beside it, claw marks gouged into the bark of a tree. Fresh marks. The bobcat let out a low, guttural hiss, her fur standing on end. She wasn't afraid of them. She was afraid of something else. Something still lurking in the shadows. The underbrush trembled, a deep rustling in the distance. "We have to move," Ben said urgently. Lisa nodded, her eyes locked onto the bobcat. "We can't leave her." They coaxed the feline forward, slow, careful movements. She followed them, limping but determined. Their flashlights darted back and forth. Every snapping twig, every whisper of wind sent chills down their spines. Then, a deep throaty growl erupted behind them. Lisa turned, gasped. A massive shadow lunged from the darkness. Ben reacted first, grabbing a fallen branch and swinging it wildly. The creature, a mountain lion, recoiled but didn't retreat. It was hungry, its eyes locked onto the wounded bobcat. Lisa's mind raced. "The flare gun!" Ben fumbled in his pack, pulling out the emergency flare. Trembling hands, he fired it into the sky. A burst of red light illuminated the forest like daylight. For a moment, the predator hesitated. Then, with an angry snarl, it turned and disappeared into the trees. Silence fell over the forest once more. The bobcat let out a soft, exhausted breath and collapsed onto the ground. Lisa knelt beside her. "We need to get her out of here." Ben exhaled, his body still shaking. "Yeah, and fast." A sound behind them, low, guttural. The mountain lion hadn't given up. Ben grabbed a rock, hurled it toward the sound, but the predator didn't flinch. Lisa's mind raced. "We need to get to higher ground." They spotted a large rock formation and hurried toward it. The bobcat, sensing urgency, limped alongside them. As they scrambled up the rocky incline, the mountain lion lunged forward. Ben swung his backpack, striking it in the face. The beast recoiled, but only for a moment. Lisa turned, panting. "It's not going to stop." Ben's hands trembled as he reached for his survival knife. "We don't have a choice." Then, a deafening roar split the air. Not from the mountain lion. Another bobcat emerged from the shadows. A male, larger, stronger. His fur bristled. He let out a low, warning growl. The mountain lion hesitated, then slowly backed away, growling in frustration before disappearing into the woods. Lisa stared in disbelief. Did that bobcat just save us? Ben exhaled heavily. "I think it did." The rescued bobcat let out a soft sound, moving toward the male, as if recognizing him. Hours later, as the sun painted the sky in hues of pink and gold, the bobcat lay comfortably inside a wildlife rescue center. Her injuries were minor, just exhaustion. Lisa and Ben watched from the observation window, relief washing over them. Lisa whispered, "We saved her." Ben nodded. "And she might have saved us." Somewhere deep in the whispering woods, the echoes of the wild remained, whispering secrets to those who dared to listen. But for one lost bobcat, the nightmare had ended, and for two hikers, a legend had just begun.